Hey there, it's Marcus, once again, in the Decaffeinated Horror Studio. It's time for Vlog Episode 9, where we look at the Sergio Martino collection, the 3-movie box set. Welcome to my vlog. I really appreciate you watching. If this is your first time watching, every week here I look at Italian horror and Giallo films on Blu-ray, and this week, finally getting around to the Giallo director, Sergio Martino. I know, what took me so long? Sergio Martino, a little background first. He was born in 1938, still alive to this day. And from 1969 to about 1982, he directed a bunch of movies. After that, he transitioned to working in television, I believe due to financial issues with Italian cinema at the time. But during this time period, he made a ton of movies. He made everything. He directed spaghetti westerns. He directed adventure movies, police procedurals. He made some of those wacky Italian sex comedies that were all the rage in the 60s and 70s. And of course, more importantly, for us anyway, he directed several Giallo films. He also worked with a lot of the same actors, George Hilton and Edwige Fenech, who we'll be getting to today as well. And his brother Luciano produced a great deal of his movies. He was a movie producer. Um, so I did struggle. I wasn't sure when I was going to do a Sergio Martino episode what the cover, because I really want to talk about The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. So far, it's my favorite movie of his that I've seen, but I don't own it on Blu-ray yet, and I do have this, the Sergio Martino collection. So we're going to look at this today. Let's get started. On to the Sergio Martino collection. All right, let's show off that cover. I really like the artwork on that. So this is a set that came out from Arrow Video in 2021. The set's no longer available for whatever reason. Individual movies all are, but so this set's all 3 movies were restored in 2K from the original camera negative, so they're going to look better than ever. Um, they're all written or co-written by Ernesto Castaldi, who I've mentioned him on the show before. He wrote a lot of the Giallo films of the 70s. So let's take a look. The first one, okay, this is the one I haven't seen before. This is The Suspicious Death of a Minor from 1975. And if you've ever watched the episode of my blog, you know I have to show off the reversible cover there. Hopefully that shows up. So display it however you'd like. Yeah, so this sounds like it's kind of a Giallo police procedural hybrid movie. I know the main character is an undercover cop. Um, he's like avenging a murder that happens in the movie. There are other murders that occur. But don't worry, I will get to this movie eventually because it's actually in another box set I own, the Giallo Essentials White box set, which I have to do that, an episode for that at some point. So, yeah, The Suspicious Death of a Minor. All right, our next movie is Your Vice is a Locked Room, and only I have the key. How's that for a wordy title? And here's the cover of the Blu-ray. I won't bore you by showing you the other side of the cover. So this movie is from 1972. It's the story of a writer, a depraved writer, quite frankly, who he has writer's block. He has a severe drinking problem. He lives with his wife, played by Anita Strindberg, and their housekeeper. And he has an abusive relationship with both of them. And he's also wasting most of his time by throwing degenerate parties, inviting the local young hippies. And there's one scene of one of these parties, which is exactly what you might picture for a 1972 hippie party. There's a song being played, there's hippie dancing. Uh, One girl becomes completely naked and dances on the tabletop like you do at these parties. Um, it's Yeah. Oh, there's also some. It's very entertaining, but there's also some kind of uncomfortable abuse of the housekeeper in that scene. Anyway, jump forward in the story. His young niece, played by Edwige Fenech, comes to live with them, and she's basically being doing all the Edwige Fenech things. She's wearing thigh-high boots and mini skirts. She's smoking cigarettes. She's seducing multiple characters, and she's putting on a great performance. She's really an underrated actress. So I don't want to ruin all the plot developments. Let me just say that there are murders, a couple of brutal murders, in fact. There's betrayals, other characters are introduced, there's twists, there's turns. You know, watching the Blu ray now, I've seen this once before in streaming, which at the time I was kind of lukewarm at the movie. Watching it again, I got a lot more out of it. First off, it looks great. This 2K release looks better than ever, but I think the reason I wasn't crazy about it the first time is the rural setting I'm not crazy about a rural setting in a Giallo film. Plus, the movie takes a while to get going, but honestly, I think the discomfort of the characters in the setting was making me feel discomfort and kind of turned me off at the time. But no, I like this a lot more now. And I gotta say, the Blu-ray is great. It has trailers, has a bunch of interviews with people involved. It also has a great featurette, The Strange Vices of Ms. Fenech. It's all about her career, and I love that. That was so enjoyable. So yeah, check this Blu-ray out.
You wanted to be rid of your husband. That's why you killed
The third movie in the set is the 1971 movie The Case of the Scorpion's Tail. That's a great cover. So this movie stars George Hilton, Anita Strindberg, who was in the last movie we just talked about. Also has a score by Bruno Nicolai, who he did the score for Your Vice is a Locker Room as well. I love his scores. With minimal notes sometimes, he manages to build suspense and intrigue. Really good work. So this movie, I have a real soft spot in my heart for this movie. This is the first non-Dario Argento Giallo film I ever saw. I watched it again this weekend. I still like it a lot. Admittedly, it's a little disjointed because at one point we're following this character, kind of pivots to this character and pivots again, but these are minor quibbles. So the story, we open in London. There's a sudden death of a rich businessman who had $1 million life insurance policy. So his wife has to fly to Athens, Greece to collect it. And from there, she's also followed there by an insurance investigator played by George Hilton, who is great in this. He's great in everything. And I don't want to divulge too much of the plots. There's a lot of intrigue. Other characters are introduced. There's a host of murders. Yeah, you just have to watch this movie. This is just a really fun movie. It's my kind of giallo, really. It's one of those jet-setting giallo movies with an urban setting. There's a string of brutal murders. There are good performances and a logical and surprising ending at the same time. Ernesto Gastaldi was one of the writers, and that's the thing about him. He always has, really well constructed plots. So yeah, I really recommend this movie. It's a whole lot of fun. And this Blu-ray is great, by the way. There's like the others, there's the trailers, there's interviews and little featurettes. And then there's an audio commentary with Ernesto Gastaldi. So I haven't listened to that, but that's got to be interesting. So yeah, The Case of the Scorpion's Tail, definitely check it out. It's a favorite of mine. Sadly, that about wraps up Sergio Martino week. I mean, I could go on, but so do I recommend owning this set? I mean, if you can get it, absolutely. This is a fun set to have. What's my favorite movie from the set? I'd still go with The Case of the Scorpion's Tail. It's got George Hilton. It's in Athens, Greece. There are chase scenes and murders and intrigue. It's a lot of fun. Uh, your Vice, though, that was close. That was a really good movie, too. Overall, what's my favorite Sergio Martino movie? So far, that would be The Strange Vice of Mrs. Ward. So I guess what I'm saying is there is more Sergio Martino in the future of the vlog. Gotta cover that movie. And I have to cover this, which I picked up from Severin Films, Private Crimes. Now this was a 1993 Italian mystery TV miniseries, and it reunited Sergio Martino and Edwige Fenech. She starred and produced it, and brought in Sergio Martino to direct. So I've never seen it. Really intrigued by this. So we got to talk about that. And at some point, I'll be reviewing this, which has Torso in it. Sergio Martino movie. And of course, the white box set, which has The Suspicious Death of a Minor in it. So, yeah, more Martino to come. Wrapping up, I just got to say thank you again for watching. Please subscribe here on YouTube. Like, drop comments. Find me on X, Twitter, Blue Sky, Facebook, wherever you might find anyone in social media world. I love talking about these movies, and I'd like to get some feedback on what to do next. Quite frankly, I don't know what I'm doing next week. I have 20, 30 vlogs in my head, and I haven't nailed one down. So it's going to be a surprise to me as well as you. Thanks again, and I'll see you next week. An exciting new addition to the Decaffeinated Horror Movie Shelf, the Sergio Martino Collection. See you next week, everyone.